Hey guys, today we are going to talk about 0 to 1 path in data science and ML. Let me first tell you about Tathastu roadmap. We are starting a new series of video where in which we will cover all the key technologies like web development, Android development, machine learning and Python or anything else. We will talk about uh, a step-by-step roadmap that you can follow to go from 0 to hero. In this there will be two kind of paths, 0 to 1 path and 1 to X. In 0 to 1 path we will assume like you are just beginning it from here right now and you have no knowledge of this prior to this. In 1 to X path we will assume like you have worked in this technology, in any technology, for 1 month or 2 months, so that video will be bit advanced. But in this we are going to talk about 0 to 1 path in data science and machine learning. We are going to talk about what are the different terminology in this and what are the key difference between them. So let's start. First, let's discuss what is AI. Artificial intelligence is the goal or aim of any software that we wish to accomplish. Let's say we want to make a program that can play like a player chess with people, or they can play Go game. Okay, so these are the standard that we have created over period of time. So it is nothing but an goal that we want to make machines smarter than humans, and they start understanding people without giving explicit instruction. Like for example, if we want to play a music, we have to tell the machine like play the music. Machine cannot understand that we want to listen music. So that's a very extreme example, but there are many example. Like we want to create a car which runs on its own without the constant input given by the user. So like create a driverless car is an AI application. So AI is the goal or the objective, and making machines smart enough to take decisions on their own, and machines start to understand us. Like for example, there is a Fitbit, you wear it on your wrist. So if your pulse goes down below a certain level, it will give you a warning or alert your family members that your this person is not healthy and needs some care. Okay, so these kind of things come into AI. Then what is machine learning? That is a good question. Machine learning is nothing but a statistical or software tools which we can use to achieve AI. ML creates computer programs which works on data to achieve AI goal. So let's understand each word in this line. We have discussed AI is the goal that we want to achieve, like we want to make a driverless car. So how do you going to make that car? You will have a lots of data. So you need software code or algorithm or whatever you wish to say tools to achieve that. So that we can do using machine learning. These programs can also be called as algorithm. Like we can create a software that will tell us what are the different kind of obstacles that are coming in front of a car. So certain obstacles the car doesn't have to stop, it has to just horn and move away. Or in this case some kid comes up or dog comes up, car has to immediately stop. So software must be able to understand from all the data that is being fed into it, all the cameras and sensor, like which one to stop and which one to not stop. So this is a very basic definition, because we are assuming you are a noob, you are just a beginner, and slowly we will try to add more understanding to it. So we have discussed AI is the overall goal, machine learning is different tools and techniques to achieve that goal. Now deep learning is a subset within machine learning. So machine learning problems are very complex, so we create a model, train it with data and make it some prediction using it. But sometimes that is not enough, so we have created a new field called deep learning. So let's say with an example like human brain. So what it is, isn't it a model, a machine learning module which takes data and on the basis of it, it take predictions. Like if you want to throw a ball, so it will tell you how much speed it has to throw, how much direction it has to make. So a lot of time you are able to make correct guesses. Okay, so how it works, how a neural nervous system works, it's a set of neurons which pass data among each neuron, and every neuron takes data on its own on the basis of input provided to it. So we try to mimic that behavior. DL is a subset of ML. It tries to mimic human brain to achieve AI goals. So AI is the goal, machine learning is tool, and deep learning is a set within machine learning tools which mimics human brain. It creates neural network fields. You have to study neural networks a lot in detail. In this 0 to 1 path, we will not talk about deep learning topics because it will come into at least 1 to X path that we are going to upload later. Okay, so for example, in driverless car also, if the car is going, a lot of time it will happen, it will go on a road on which it hasn't gone before ever. So there will be lots of new variables which we don't know how to tackle. So here we try to develop a neural network which will make a reasonable prediction on a new road as well. Okay. So now there are we have discussed AI is a goal, machine learning is a tools to achieve it, and deep learning is a subset within machine learning to achieve specific goals. Now there are lots of other techniques that we need to use in order to make our data ready to be processed by ML and DL algorithms. So the simple maths, addition, subtraction, or taking some data and adding into some it, combining. Just say for example, if you are given birth year uh, of the users, like they are born 93, 94, 97, so you wish to calculate the age, so it's a simple mathematical calculation. You deduct the year from the current year. So these kind of methods you have to use. In statistics you need to use certain specific, like finding a mean, median, mode, standard deviation, how to plot different graphs and etc. Visualization is used to plot data on a graph so that we can understand and make assumptions or assertions very easily. We are going to talk about it in detail. Exploratory data analysis, when we have analyzed the data, when we have visualized this, then we make some assumptions about the data, like how it is flowing and how it is scaling up, how it's evolving with when we add more data. So these kinds of predictions are made in EDA. Okay. So for example, let's say there must be lots of actions that is happening around a car. For example, if a car is going, then there is another car which is taking a right turn, but that car is very far away. So we can see in the data by visualizing, like that car is at a very distant proximity, it's not very close. So we can assume that we don't have to consider these data, so we can just make that happen in the EDA part only. So that is the advantage. So when we mix up all these AI and ML parts with the math statistic visualized, like when we apply all of these concepts together, here we come the it becomes data science. So data science is a wide field which covers AI, ML, DL, and all these math and statistical tools available to us. So let's say data science is a broad field that spans the collection, management, analysis, and interpretation of large amounts of data with a wide range of application. These can be AI application or not. These can be non-AI application as well. Just we want to just analyze simple data and rather not achieve artificial intelligence. So we can use data science for that as well. So it is a broad field that spans collection of data, management of that data, like using EDA and etc. Collection is during all those numpy, scan, panda you can do and get at multiple ways. Okay, and we going to interpret it. So there are two types of insights we can from of it. Extract insights from the data, we call it exploratory data analysis, we'll talk about it more. And make predictions from that large data sets, so it can be loosely called as predictive analytics. So two things we can do. It helps company make data-driven decisions using charts, graphs, sometimes creating new metrics like how many DAUs are there, how many revenue is increasing on weekend. So they get a data like revenue is growing 5% on weekend. So what they do, they will give a 7% discount on weekend. With the help of predictive analysis, we can assume that there will be a 15% uptick in the revenue if you give a 5% discount, 7% discount on weekend. So these kind of predictions can be made using data science, and it will help company make data driven decisions. Exact role what you are going to do or anyone is going to do, it's depend on the what are the job profile is offered. So there are data analyst, data engineer, or data science, and different kind of roles which are offered on the basis of company, domain, and function you are working. So we are going to talk about it detail later. So we have divided the whole stages of learning into 5 stages: stage 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. We will discuss each of the state in details in the upcoming uh, part of the video. Stage 0, where you're starting from beginning, you have to first learn Python. There are also other languages like R and Java which is also used, but most of you are engineering background, so for engineers it's more appropriate to use Python because you will be working on machine learning algorithms. So it's important you start with Python because lots of libraries are available and you will find a lot of support for it. Okay, so we will discuss that in stage 0. In stage 1 we will discuss how to work with data or playing with data, all the pre-processing, scaling, feature selection, feature engineering. In this video we are not going to use too many heavy ML or data science word because that will be overbound for you guys, because we are assuming you are very beginner. In our next video of 1 to XPath, then you can see us using more complex word and more further details. Okay. Second stage, you are going to understand basic machine learning algorithms and what are the prerequisites to that. In the stage 3, you have to start making some mini projects. We will recommend you some data sets and some problem that you can start with. Stage 4 is becoming a pro or a professional, where you start your professional journey as a data scientist. Stage 0. So you have to learn the basics of Python like data types, variables, loop, conditional statements of if, else, for, while, etc. Functions, how to define function using def keyword, how to pass parameters, how to pass constructor, and all. Also recursion is very important. You have to learn it. And then you have to learn the OOPS concept, how to create a class, how to create an object, how to call a parameters to the constructor, etc. So these things you can learn from any website. There are lots of videos available on YouTube. You can also refer to some book. Okay, so Coursera, Udemy, you can find lots of courses there, but I would recommend you to study on your own and whichever way is beneficial to you. Next, you have to understand how to import different libraries. So biggest advantage of Python is wide access of huge library of libraries, like lots of libraries are available. For example, for everything there is a library. So you might ask, what is a library? A library is a set of classes or methods that you can reuse in your program. Like for example, we want to read a data from a file, so instead of writing each code of each write, open, buffered, input, reader, everything, etc., you will just import a library and call the functions from that library. So this is the biggest advantage of using Python. If you are thinking what studio or what tool to use, like IDE, Independent Integrated Development Environment, you can either use PyCharm or VS Code. Both are useful for Python. And when you start working on data science, you have to learn Jupyter Notebook. You can also do basic Python or Jupyter Notebook as well. Not an issue. You can just directly go to Jupyter Notebook, but it's better to start from PyCharm or VS Code. Okay, it's your choice, whichever you want to learn. So the most important library you have to learn here is NumPy. NumPy is the best library to begin with. It provides simple functions to achieve some basic manipulation of addition, subtraction, and comparison, and other kind of function that you can do with the data on the initial phases. So NumPy is the basic library you can start with. So this comes in the basics part. I think it must take you around 7 to 8 days at max to learn all these things. Okay, then we go to stage 1. Now we have understood, so far we have understood basics of Python and how to import different library and a simple library of data science, that is NumPy. Okay, now one thing about any data science project will be that the data you will get will not be processed. It will be raw data. Raw data, like let's say we are collecting data for Aadhaar for government, let's say. So there are hundreds of columns that the people have to fill. Okay, so sometimes what happens, some columns are not filled. Let's say the person hasn't filled the second address of the uh, user. Okay, so what you have to do, it will come blank. So you can also, so what it will create problems in your model later. So what will do, you have to fill up those blank to, like say, any, in the place of blank you will add any, it's not available, or you can add null, whatever you have used in your system. For example, date of birth is in different format. For example, someone has added in dd YY, somewhere it is just in dd and YY, only 4 YY, like 1994 and just 94. So you have to balance these issues. You have to convert all the days for year of either to 94 or either to 1994 format. So this is a simple example I am trying to give, that kind of issues you will face in raw data. So you have to fix it. So this is the fundamental part, and most of the time you will work in this part section only, because it takes a lot of time to fix data. So data is needed to be pre-processed, removing redundancy. Like for example, some rows can be repeated multiple times. You can't make prediction on the basis of that. So you have to remove redundancy. You have to fill up blank values we have discussed. You have to scale to some range. For example, a percentage data is given for people, like CGPA is given. So there is one scale of 1 to 5 and there is one scale of 1 to 10. So but if you want to make prediction, you need CGPA into one scale only. Either you can take 1 to 5 number to 1 to 10 number by multiplying by 2, or you can take the 1 to 10 numbers by dividing by 2 to 1 to 5. So this is called scaling. It can be upscaling or downscaling depending on your necessity. Then you have to work on pandas. Pandas is also a very important library that you have to master over a period of time. NumPy was needed to do manipulations on data. Pandas you are going to do for fetching data and storing it and containing. It's like a data structure that you are going to use for data science career. So in this you have to explore the data frames, data tables, arrays, array manipulation, how do you pass data from one array to another, and how to basic manipulation using NumPy. Data series is also very important. So these are the key terms I am telling you have to study in Python. Next is to come how to visualize data that we have fetched using pandas, manipulated using NumPy, how we are going to visualize it to the user in a better way. So there are two major libraries available, Seaborn and Matplotlib. You have to understand both of them. Both have their own disadvantage and advantage, but in most problems you will find either of them used interoperably. Some Seaborn at some place, Matplotlib at some place. So it is recommended to learn both of them. Okay, once you have done fetch data using pandas, manipulated using NumPy, and displayed using these two libraries, then we do exploratory data analysis or EDA. Here you need to make some preliminary assessment about the date you have at hand. So let's say you see the graph of that data. Let's say the Aadhaar data you can see. So in the graph where you have plotted the ages, you will see a large proportion of the population is less than the age of 30. The proportion of young students in UP is more than in Delhi. So these kind of predictions assessment you can make just looking at the visualization of the data. So this is what we call exploratory data analysis. It also helps us in feature selection. What is a feature? Feature is nothing but a attribute of the data. For example, age is a feature. Okay. Permanent address is a feature. What is the hometown is a feature. So you have to identify which features will be crucial for your model later. So for that you need to do feature selection and feature engineering, which can be done very easily using EDA and other methods. We are going to discuss that in 1-2x. So we have learned Python basics, importing libraries, some important libraries. Then we have gone one step further. We have understood how to import data from CSV or TXT files, and we have done how to pre-process them, removing redundancy, etc. We have understood pandas very well, visualization using Seaborn and Matplotlib, and EDA as well. Next to move on is to understanding ML algorithms, where we have to create a model to process the data and make the prediction that we wish to do. So before we do the ML algorithm, we have to learn the understand key topics of statistics like mean, standard deviation, average, etc. Okay, and some key math concepts are also required because these models are based on solid mathematics and statistics. So in order to understand an algorithm properly, you have to understand the math behind it. So you don't have to learn it too deep. Okay, you have to just learn the basic fundamentals of some topics of math. Okay, then you have to understand the broad categories of ML algorithms, like on what basis they are divided, like on the basis of type of learning, similarity, or on the basis of differences they have. So there are 3-4 categories of ML algorithms that you have to understand. How to learn an algorithm is, so you have to take an algorithm, take 2-3 examples of it, how it solves different problem, which algorithm is applied to which case. You have to look at that. You have to look at its implementation, the exact code, how it is called. For this we used a library called Scala that you are going to learn in your process of learning data science. Scala library, all these models are predefined, but you must also understand how it works from the within, what are its inner working, because you are an engineer. Okay, you can be asked this question in your interview. You have to compare the performance of different algorithms at given data points. Okay, so these kind of things you have to keep in mind while learning a specific algorithm. You can start with supervised learning algorithm, unsupervised, then you can go on regression, logistic, linear, two types of regression, then Bayesian algorithm, decision tree clustering, and so on. So these are around 50 to 20 algorithms that you have to learn. These are the broad categories and types that you have to focus on. And you can be asked the details of any algorithm in an interview, like they can ask you what is regression and can you implement regression, tell us the code, and so on. Okay, so please focus more time into this part as well. Next, when you have learned how to take data, process it, and we have also discussed in the previous section how to create a model. Next is, you cannot, theory is not knowledge until not implemented. It is a saying that we all believe that's true. Theory can never be knowledge that you have studied from books or YouTube channels and etc. It will not become knowledge until and unless you don't implement it and solve a problem. So there are a certain key projects that you can start, you can prefer to get started. So first you have to learn some implementations of EDA, exploratory data analysis, on some popular data step. Okay, you have to learn data processing stages, like there are different stages where you do removing redundancy, then you do pre-processing, then you do feature selection or EDA. So these kind of steps you have to understand of data science in depth. So some of the data sets I can tell you: housing prediction data set is available on Kaggle, FIFA data set is available on Kaggle, Titanic is very popular. You can just Google housing prediction data set on Kaggle. You will find the first link. Then you can go on and check the data, how to access it, and everything else. Okay, you will be provided there. So if you want to start your career or your learning process, these 2-3 data set are perfect to start. Create at least 2 to 3 end-to-end solution on key problems of data science before you move to next stage. In housing prediction, what you have to do, they will be given you some data of past 10-20 years, how the prices of houses has changed over a period of time, 20 years or any time. And they will also tell you what are the different kinds of factors which are affecting it, like the economic situation of the country, migration levels. So these factors will be provided. So on the basis of that data, you have to predict what will be the prices in the next year or after that year. So it's a very interesting problem. You must solve it from the first set of accessing data, processing it, pre-processing it, creating the best, choosing the best model, and using the best model to solve it and making predictions. So solve at least 2 to 3 problems before moving on to the next step. How to do that? You can find YouTube videos on all these. You can just Google, or you can go to YouTube and solve say housing prediction dataset solution, and you will find it. Fever dataset, Titanic, these all three are very very famous dataset. You will find a lots of blog written on them. Okay, becoming a pro. So once you have done all this theory part and all this implementation of these 2-3 data sets, so it might take you at least over a month and a half, 1.5 month to do all these things. Then it is part of us to becoming a pro or a professional. Then you have to start participating in contests on Kaggle. Let me tell you about Kaggle. I hope you have heard the name of CodeChef, HackerRank. These are the platforms where you go participate in coding competition and get for internship and jobs and whatnot. So Kaggle is a similar platform for data science and machine learning. Simple as that. You will see contests there. You will see popular data sets. You will see notebooks of top people, most liked notebook, most supported notebooks, all these kind of things. Okay, so start participating in contests on Kaggle. You can just go and find on its website. Contribute to top notebooks, suggest edits or some uh, additions you would like to tell. Also solve some standard problem like the 2-3 we have mentioned. You will find more on the Kaggle website. So most common these days the COVID data set. You can also work on that. You can help them make some prediction. One is upcoming is what is I have seen trending these days, like how do you predict the impact of COVID lockdown on the financial economy of that region, like how strict was the lockdown, how many days it was allowed. So these kind of factors can be evolved to predict that. Next step is to joining LinkedIn. Once you want to, you are learning data science to get an internship or a job, or both in the case, in whatever year you are in. So you need to join LinkedIn, which is a best professional website that you can showcase your project and connect it with like-minded mentors and peers. So you have to engage with key people working in DS domain. Some people are like Abhishek Thakur. You can search Krish Nayak, and 4-5 people are there. You can easily find them. Post your project that you have created in previous part and try to seek feedback from these people. You can also join, connect with those people who are working in data science domain in top companies, like any company you would like to work. Optum hires a lot of data scientists. You can look for people from there. Mu Sigma, ZS, or lots of company are there, and some other lesser known companies. You can just engage with them, try to share your projects on the LinkedIn and ask for their feedback, and also try to comment in whatever post they are sharing so that they take interest in you. A lot of students say they are not regular, they start but they leave somewhere in between. So for regularity, you can make a circle of your friends, 3 4 friends who are constantly learning data science, and you can share notes among themselves like what you are learning, what video, what course you are doing. So this is the best process to learn. Next thing you can do, there are lots of job openings you will see of internship and etc on LinkedIn and Internshala, but so far you are just learning, but you don't know what companies expect from you. So in order to get an idea about that, like what else you want to learn, so you can just look at the job description of the openings which are coming and understand what all skills and keywords they are asking you. Okay, this will give you an idea what else you have to learn. You can also start by applying for internship with your mini projects as well as tasks you have done on the Kaggle. So that's a small enough and good enough portfolio for you to start your applications for internship. So I will recommend you to start applying. You have to first create your resume, a professional LinkedIn profile, so that you can have an impact on your recruitments. Okay, so these are the 5 stages of learning we have discussed so far: learning Python, understanding how to work with data, different machine learning algorithms, making at least 2 to 3 mini projects on common topics, becoming professional, solving, at least in this stage you will should make at least 5 to 10 major projects on end-to-end solution, 2 3 contests on Kaggle, publish some notebooks and get some upvotes etc. there. Now we have to discuss what are the career options and roles offered to the freshers. So we will specifically only talk about college graduates who will start looking for job after final year, okay, or in the final year. So most of the job for freshers are working on data. So it is a hard reality. Data science is a difficult skill that you need to learn over a period of time. So once you go out of college, you will not be allowed to directly work on the model or the prediction part or all the difficult or you can say cool parts of an algorithm, but you will be given the basic part like clean the data, create it in a proper format, do some feature selection etc, some trivial things. Okay, so no one will make you work on model from day one. So let me be very clear so that you can set your expectation very clearly. Once you do for 1 year 2 year, then you will be given a chance to work on those model as well. So one role is provided to use of data analyst or associate data analyst. You can associate data analyst or data analyst depending on the company which is hiring. So in this profile, you have to work on analyzing the data. You don't have to do much coding. You will be using simple tools of UI, user interface tools you are going to use. You won't be able to do any coding. At best you will be running some SQL queries, okay, or big data Hadoop queries. Okay, so it will be more like visualizing the data, trying to find out some trend and some hidden features out of it. Next profile is of a machine learning engineer. In this profile you have to do the coding. You have to write Python scripts, exact code you have to do in this. So most of the code will be like to scrapping website, writing scripts to analyze data. For example, all the tools which data analysts use to analyze data will be created by machine learning engineers of the company. So you might be interested in this profile more if you from a coding background. Next role is of a data engineer. This data, we have discussed tools created by ML engineer and data analyst analyzes the data, but who prepares that data? Who runs these tool and prepare the data? The data engineer does that. Working on preparing data, the person must be proficient in any database language like SQL, MySQL, MongoDB, or whatever data DB is used in that specific company. You must be good at Python as well. You might have to write some script, some frameworks to deploy like Django or any other technology to deploy these models and to handle low level implementation of data. So these are the 3 broad categories of roles which are commonly available. Okay, more roles can also be offered depending on the need of the company, but largely the skill set required will be the same as discussed here. Let's talk about some tools and libraries and resources that you can follow. In the basics part, you have to learn about NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, Seaborn. We have discussed earlier. Scala library you have to learn, and Scikit-learn is also a specific machine learning library available to you. It has some really good functions, but it is on a bit advanced part. You can just learn these in the basics. For tool, you just have to install Python 3.5 or 3.6, whichever version you want in your system, and you need to install Jupyter notebook in your system as well. So Jupyter is where we do all our work. Platform Kaggle is the most important platform we have discussed earlier as well. Analytics Vidya is a platform where you can see a lot of blogs, articles, video on some tips and advices regarding data science. Okay, Machine Learning Mastery, you can follow this platform for theory about data science algorithms, the ML algorithms we have discussed, regression, decision trees. So all those stories you can find here. Towards Data Science is a very practical blog. It's a blog which is managed by very nice people in data science, very good quality articles you will find here. So if you want to work on any project, you can just go on the website and you will find some blog, some detailed explanation of the process of all the code will be provided to you here. And DataQuest is also another platform where you can follow videos, etc. If you'd like to ask me books, so Python, you can follow any book for Python, whichever you like to follow. There are 2 3 books I would like to mention for ML. There is a 100-page ML book by Andrei Burkov. You can read that book. You can find the PDF online. O'Reilly Hands-on ML is also a good book. And for learning some practical approach, there is a new book launched by Abhishek Thakur few years back. So you can also read it, approaching almost any machine learning problem. So best practices, tools, tips, advices, and solution to common problems are provided in this book. If you ask for YouTube channels, so best channel is Krish Nayak. So this guy has created a video on almost everything you need to learn in data science and machine learning. He has also done lots of projects and deployment. So this is the must follow channel for you guys on YouTube. And you can also follow videos of Abhishek Thakur, but it will be mostly helpful for you Kaggle related topics. If you want to follow a theory and projects, then it is Krish Nayak and then Abhishek Thakur. There are many other YouTube channels that you can find, but these are some that I have found personally helpful. So let's discuss some of the frequently asked questions, some myths and misconceptions about data science that students have and they talk about. First, is coding required for data science? A lot of students are scared of coding and they think data science is also scary. So if you want to go into the machine learning part where you have to write some codes or scripts, etc., then yes, coding is required, but not as difficult as much it is required in competitive programming. But you are becoming data analyst or business analyst, in those role coding is not at all used. You have to just run tools and make assessment and prediction using that. So only in machine learning data engineer roles you have to do coding, and that is also not that difficult. I think those simple scripts that you can work on easily. Another question student asked, what is the scope for non-CSIT students in data science? So if you follow all the past mentioned above, like all the things we have mentioned you have to do to become a good data science, I don't think it will matter for the company that whether you belong from CS domain or not. Okay, so as you have must seen, IT companies hire from any branch students. So only thing they require is that students from non-CSIT branch should be good in data structure or coding. Okay, so similarly for data science roles as well, if you are good in data science, they won't care. I've seen a lot of mechanical engineering students doing good in data science field. Okay, I'm not that good at maths, can I do data science? Okay, so same for coding. Okay, so maths is used, but it is very simple maths and it's very different from the maths you have done in school. In the school we have done topics which we don't know the real application to it, but here you will see that maths working in action, so it will be more interesting to work and relate with it. Okay, but it will not be that difficult also if you are doing for data analyst profile, etc., so you won't be needing that much math. You will be just needing basic math of calculation and reading numbers quickly and fastly. So yes, you need maths, but you will enjoy the maths of data science. Learning data structure and machine learning can be very expensive. Like there are courses around 60,000, 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh, these kind of courses. So is it that expensive? So let me tell you one thing. There are everything that you need to learn that we have mentioned in this whole presentation is available for free on YouTube, from GitHub, from Kaggle and whatnot. So if you are a passionate person, you can find it. So money is not a barrier. Only thing you need is zeal to learn. Okay. But if you are not willing to do that extra effort and find things, then you have to surely spend some money. So many topics to learn, I lose interest and habit and what to do. So yeah, the path is difficult, things are complicated, nobody is there to guide you and tell you how to study. So yes, you get bored, and so don't take, my solution to this, don't take stress the curriculum, study in stages. Like we have divided the whole process for you 5 stages. So focus on the stages in what we are. First go to zero stage. First learn Python basics, write some basic program of palindrome, etc. Then you import the libraries, NumPy, etc. So your stage 1 is stage 0 is complete. Then you go to stage 1. You make at least 2-3 analysis of some data. In stage 3 as well, you implement at least 2 to 3 models. Stage 4, you go to at least 8 to 12 projects on Kaggle. So these are the different stages. If you are in stage 2, focus on stage 2. If you are stage 3, focus on stage 3. Don't get lost and don't stress about it. And there are many other ways to get engaged. You can create a peer groups, you can connect with mentors, etc. Okay. Another question student ask is whether to buy a course or not. See, the main part is for you to learn data science. Okay, for you to learn this machine learning techniques, you need to make some good projects. Okay, so if you are able to do on your own from YouTube, GitHub, etc., so you can be my guest. Don't buy any course. Okay, but in case you are not able to do it on your own from these projects, then you have to buy some course. There is nothing wrong in buying some course, because the priority is that you learn. You also pay fees to your college. Why do you pay fees? Because you want education. Like, they are not teaching you for free. You are giving 70,000, 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh for a year. So if you want to learn something extra, then you have to surely pay some fee. How to get internship? Simple. Make at least 4 or 5 good projects, decent repo on Kaggle, solid understanding of key concept, and present all this information in a professional format. So you can look at our videos of how to create a good resume, etc., and approach for it. Okay. So that's all from our side. If you have anything else, you can comment on the video below or email us at this email ID.